Hi guys, welcome to Crypto Bean 101, the home of value and good information when it comes to cryptocurrency trading and investment. And this is the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show where we trade it and we do not gamble it. And I'm Ahmed Magic Kazim, aka KC, the Great. And thanks for joining me this morning on this wonderful show where we discuss what matters in the crypto space. And if you remember yesterday, I told you we're expecting the Fed rate cut to come into being. And if that should happen, we should be careful because we might see the market dumping out. And 2 days ago, 3 days ago, if you watched the show, I told you we might hit 94,000 and dump from there. Exactly what I said is what is playing out. So what do we need to do this morning regarding our portfolio? We just need to be careful because you can see we've already touched this 94k, but we couldn't hold up to it and the market is dumping. But we do not have a kicker. We do not have what I call not a kicker, not an engulfing. So if we do not have that, we need to wait for Bitcoin to break this zone, which is 87,700. That is where we got into the market because you can see what happened here. We have a kicker here, then we got another entry right there. So what we need to do right now is for BTC to break 87,800 thereabout. That is when we can say we should get out of BTC. So that works for it. And if you look at the news on the radar, you see that crypto tanks after Fed cuts rate and sentiment breaks down the trap. And I told you guys we need to be careful as long as we do not see like 25 50 or 75 basis point. 25 basis point might not that be active, and I think that is what investors and the traders are still digesting. And you can see what is going on when we had the rate called the market tank from there. So what do we need to do this morning is very simple. We just need to hold on to our positions because our entry was 87,500. Remember, this is for spot traders and investors, not for derivatives, options, margin trader, or you guys that use leverage. If you're interested in that, you need to join my Telegram or my Discord channel. So for all of us that are still holding on to it, BTC is still a buy. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had our exit around 90k, then we got another entry at 87,000. So where's our stop loss now? Our stop loss is at 87,500 or 600 thereabout. We need to be careful, and we can see Ethereum has bottomed. That is what Tom Lee bold prediction said. But remember, Tom Lee came out sometimes ago saying Ethereum has bottomed out, but at the end of the day, he came out to say no, it has not bottomed out. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I do not believe what any one of them is saying. What you need to do is to follow the chart and make sure the chart is what guides you to what or whatever you're doing. If not, these guys, they will just be changing their mouth and be saying different kind of things, and it will not really favor us. You understand? So sorry, I was just trying to, okay, I think that is fine. Sorry, I was just trying to post in the group for people that want to join. Okay, I think that is good. All right, so like I was saying, we do not need to listen to them because you can see what he's saying. He's saying Ethereum has bottomed. I remember he predicted Ethereum at 10k, but now he's changing his mouth. If you watch my video, you see. So I do not really believe in all these people. We just need to follow the chart and do what is right. And if you take a look at Dogecoin as well, Dogecoin jumps 61% in volume as market await crucial catalyst. And I told you Dogecoin is the king of what? Is the king of meme tokens. If you understand what I'm saying, is the king of meme tokens. And if you look at what Dogecoin is doing, really, yesterday I told you don't buy because it's not a buy. Today also is not a buy, but we're still going to dive right into the chart fully. All right, let's now check what we need to do with BTC before we move on. If you look at BTC, the reason why I'm saying you can still hold on to your BTC was because we have a kicker. Normally when you have a kicker, it shows the market is going to fall so well, you understand. But another thing you need to understand is we have a pullback to exactly 0.68161 Fibonacci, and that was why we got that entry at 87,500. That's why I don't want us to close our positions now, because this might just pull there a little bit, then we're going to see the market kick off from there, and our stop loss is below 87,600. Our stop loss is around 87,500. So if you're holding on to your BTC Bitcoin, I think it's still a buy. You can hold on to it until it breaks below 87,500. Then we can do what? We can leave the market. But now let's take a look at another thing that is very crucial with BTC. Mostly when we have a kicker like what we had there, normally BTC we create a new low. Let me give you an example. You can see when you have a kicker here, we saw a new low. We have another kicker here, we saw a new low. We have an engulf here, we saw a new low. Let's go back. I'll show you more of it. You see, we have a kicker here. We saw market pull down, even though it did not create a new low, because the new low is far down, but it creates a new low from this structure we have. So that is why even with this kicker now, with this kicker that we saw here on the 3rd of December, possibility we're going to have the market pull down more is there. But like I always tell you on this show, we do not do guesswork. We do what is right. Until chart shows us, that is when we're going to leave the market. And even yesterday, this candle itself fall down itself and break below 89,000. I would say we should leave the market, but that did not happen. That means no kicker, no engulfing. So there's no need to panic. Let's just hold on to our position with Bitcoin, and let's see how it's going to move, if it's going to break below 87,500. So if you're still trading BTC or you're holding on to it, you can hold on to your position. All right, let's move on to altcoins and check Ethereum. If you look at ETH has now given us a kicker, and whenever you have a kicker, I will say you should leave the market. So let's bring it up right there and change it to red. Yes, why I change it to red is because we now have a kicker, and I told you when you have a kicker, possibility of market dropping down to 0.618 or 75 is there. So don't be surprised if you see Ethereum dropping down to around 3,000 again before it start rallying up or creating a new low. So that is why I'm changing. So for Ethereum, I would advise you stay away from the market because of this kicker that we saw this morning at around 3,287. And remember, I gave you the entry at 2,700 if you've been watching my show. So if you enter at 2,700 or around 2,007 something and you are leaving the market at 3,200, it's still a good profit for you. So I would advise you leave the market when it comes to Ethereum. Let's leave the market. Let's see if the market will pull down to around 3,000, or let's see what 0.6 would be. 0.6 will be around 3,001. So we'll be looking to get into Ethereum around 3,119, 120 to $3,000. That will be perfect entry again for ETH. But for now, our advice will stay away from ETH because of that kicker that happened this morning. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink, I told you guys yesterday, you see, it's not a buy, and I say if you're trading the inner or the lower time frame with investor kind of plan, it's not going to be good for you. And you can see you're already invalidated. So imagine you're doing swap in and out, you'll be losing your money. And that's why I told you guys, please stay away from here. I can see I still leave it in red. Why did I leave it in red? Because it's not a buy yet. Let's take a look at AAVE, the same story. It's not a buy yet. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana is a buy. As we all know, I leave it in green, even though we have an engulf. Yeah, we have an engulfing here. Let me see if this was an engulfing. No, it's not an engulfing, because if I zoom it in, you'll find out it's actually an engulfing, guys. Let's see it very well. Yeah, it's actually right on top of it. It's actually right on top of it. You see, it's actually right on top of or below it, kind of, and which shows that is engulfing. If that is engulfing, we are not supposed to get into the market. We're supposed to wait for structure. And with that being said, let me see if we are the breakout. Normally our stop loss is around 122, but with this that I just discovered now, Solana might continue to drop, because if this candle break below this, it means it's a buy, and for us to get into the market, it needs to be above it. So for us to be safe, since we got into the market at 126, I would say let's leave the market at 130 and take that little gain we are making. So I'm going to change this to red. Why? Because I feel like this was an engulfing candle that we didn't see properly before. And when you have an engulfing candle, you need a structure. There's no need to say you're looking for pullback. Only when you have a kicker is when you need to stick to pullbacks. But when you have an engulfing, it shows the market might tank and create a new low. So with Solana 2, please close right now and stay out of the market. Let's take a look at BNB as well. BNB on the other hand is looking, let me see, we have our entry at 817 and we've not seen a kicker on engulfing. So to me, BNB is still looking good. Why? Because this candle that move up here did not go above this one. You can see it didn't go above it. So I would say we should hold on to that until it kicks us out at our stop loss will now be at 800. So until BNB breaks below 800, that is when I can say we should leave the market. Remember, we got in at 817. So when it breaks 800, we can leave the market. Even this spike that went up, it was above the high. Let me even check it properly. It's not above it. You can see it's not above it. So since it's not above it, we cannot call this a structure. Rather, it's a pullback, and pullback can just drop down a little bit to come and touch this zone and move back again. So with this, I'm still going to leave it in green, and we can hold on to our BNB. All right, let's take a look at Litecoin, which is LTC. The same thing with LTC. LTC is still a buy until it breaks below this 75,000, because you can see what is happening. Yes, we had an engulfing here. Sorry, let me see. It looks like an engulfing right here. Yeah, that is an engulfing, but you know, this is a pullback. Let me check. Sorry, let me check this properly. I'm talking about Litecoin now, LTC. We have entry there, no invalidation, invalidated, but we did not break below it, so it's still a buy, move up, pull up. So I think we can still hold on to it. Yes, we can still hold on to it until it breaks that 74. Let's just leave LTC like that until we see price below $74, we can leave LTC. Let's take a look at SUI. SUI is not a buy. Stay away from it. And you can now see what I was telling you guys on the show, that trading lower time frame with crypto, spot trading or investing is not good. You can see all the lower time frame has been invalidated, and that's why I told you guys you shouldn't get into the market if you're not day trader that go in and out. You can see I leave the major structure in red, which shows is still in sell mode. What about AVAX? AVAX is still in sell mode. Stay away from it. What about ADA? ADA, the same thing. You know, I told you it hit the tip of the beginning of where I call buying zone. That's why I say it's 50-50. If you get in, just know we are not down into the market itself. So if you're still holding on to ADA, you can hold on to it, and let's see if it's going to break 0.26 cent. What about XRP? XRP is not a buy. Please stay away from it. What about TON? Not a buy. Stay away from it. What about Dex? Not a buy. Please stay away from it. What about Pump.Fund? Yes, Pump.Fund gave us a buy at 0.26, and it has not really invalidated anything. We were going to wait to see if it's going to break 0.0025, so we can still hold on to our pump.fund, but I have a feeling it will come down to break it, but we are not losing anything. It's going to kick us out at our entry point, which is still good if at all is going to do that. So we're going to wait for pump.fund to break 0.0025. All right, let's take a look at Ondo. Ondo, the same thing, is not a buy. Please stay away from it. What about Zcash? Zcash is still a buy. You know, I gave you Zcash entry at 399, 398 thereabout, and it's still a buy because we do not have a kicker and we do not have what? We do not have an engulfing, so we can still hold on to our Zcash, and our stop loss will still be at 325 thereabout. That's when we should leave the market now for Zcash. So that's that regarding the altcoins. If you have anyone you want me to take a look at, you can comment or DM me. I'll add it to the chat list, then we can discuss it together. All right, let's take a look at meme token, and we're going to start with Dogecoin because it made the headlines talking about the jump in volume, but that doesn't matter because the volume might be people selling or people exchanging into another cryptocurrency. But what we are seeing that is still dropping, and it has not dropped into the buy zone or create any structure. So please and please, you can just stay away from what's it called? Dogecoin is not a buy yet. All right, let's move on. Shiba Inu also, it's not a buy. Please stay away from it. What about Pepe? Pepe also is not a buy. Please stay away from it. What about Popcat? Popcat too, the same thing. Even though Popcat dropped into the buying zone, but I'm seeing this. Okay, it's not really an engulfing and it's not really a kicker, so we can leave pop cards. Let's see if we're going to see momentum, but I feel like it's just ranging since 24th of November. It's been ranging, but let's see if it will be able to break 0.06. What about Trump token? Stay away from it. It's not a buy. What about Millennia? Millennia token has now dropped into the buy zone, and I'm still going to leave it in green because I feel like Millennia token need to destroy 0.088 before we can say it's not a buy. What about Notcoin? Not a buy. Stay away from it. Deep also is not a buy. Please stay away from it. X is not a buy. Stay away from it. What about Swamp? Swamp is still a buy. Until Swamp break below 0.011, you need to hold on to your position. Remember, our entry was at 0.01126, and it went up, gave us good buy before it's now start dropping down, but we're still gonna hold on to the position until it breaks that zone. Now let's talk about the bonus, which is gold. I've been giving you guys signal about gold, and remember I told you to leave the market at 4,200 until we have what? Until we have a structure, and yet no structure yet. Nothing has happened. Don't panic, don't get into the market. Nothing has happened. Stay away from gold. If at all we even want to get into gold, our entry point will be right here. Our entry point will be right here, maybe around 4,001 to 4,050. Again, until that happens, we need to wait for structure before we get into gold market. So you can still stay away from gold market, and that's what I have for you on the chat segment of the show this morning. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research and trade with the money you can afford to lose. All right, that's that regarding the chart analysis. Let's now jump into the market itself to see what is going on. And if you look at the market cap continue dropping after we move a little bit up. Is now at 3.1 trillion US dollars, and trading volume still around 155 billion trading volume in the last 24 hours, just slightly different from what we saw yesterday. And you can see Terra is still trending. Terra Luna Classic also is still trending, and the top gainers right here, Terra is still one of them. But if you look at the top 10 cryptocurrency, you're going to see BTC is still maintaining number one, even though it has dropped about 3.3% in the last 7 days, and the market cap has dropped drastically from 2 point something trillion to 1.7 trillion. Ethereum at number two, Tether at number 3, XRP at number 4, BNB at number 5, USDC at number 6, Solana at number 7, Lido Stake at number 8, and you can see Tron at number 9, while Dogecoin maintain the top 10. If you're interested in knowing where your project or all the cryptocurrency you are holding on to are sitting on the cryptocurrency market cap, you might want to check that out on CoinGecko.com. All right, that's that regarding the market cap. Let's now check what is going on with the economic calendar. We know yesterday we saw the Fed rate cuts. They cut the rate by 25 basis points, and I told you guys, as long as they continue using the 25 basis point, nothing is going to happen, because people want 50, 75 basis point. But you can see it was forecasted and it was the same thing that happened, and we all know there's a lot of debt to be bought back by the Fed. So a lot of things is going on, which shows things might not really look good, and that might push us into the bear market. And remember, I told you I'm going to confirm our bear market when we break below 75,000 US dollars. So what are we expecting today? Employment change from Australia has already been released. In China has been released. Now we have unemployment coming out from the United States at 1:30 GMT today, and you can stick to that. Also, some great news coming out of England, which is going to be governor, Bank of England governor, to speak and talk about the policies and interest rate that will be coming up. So we don't really have much to worry about today, apart from the unemployment claims. That is really important. You can see in red, so we need to be careful when the New York sessions open. And I told you guys yesterday, you need to be careful, because the Fed record, as long as it's not 50, 75 basis point, the market might dump. And you can see what is happening with BTC. The market is dropping because it's not what a lot of people anticipated. But like I said, you can hold on to your BTC until we break below 87,000 US dollar, because our entry is exactly at that 87,500. So we're not losing anything, even though it comes down to that point, because that was our entry. And remember, this is for spot traders and investors, not for day trader, leverage, margin options that goes in and out. If you're interested in that, join my Discord channel or my Telegram channel for good signals and educational content. And with Ethereum, I told you, please leave the market. And with some of the altcoins, they are not yet a buy. Ethereum has given us a kicker. Stay away from it. Link is not a buy. Solana also, it has given us engulfing candle. Please stay away from it. Only BNB I can say we can still hold on to, because our entry for BNB is at 820, and maybe we're just going to see a little bit push down before it will ride on. So, but remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research and trade with the money you can afford to lose. So that with the economic calendar and everything. But before I round up the show, let's check what the fear and greed looks like. And if you look at the fear and greed, you see it's still the same thing. We are now on fear. Yesterday was fear, last week fear, last month has now turned to fear, and right now is now fear. And that is what the fear and greed analysis is showing us today. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on the show this morning. I still remain my humble self, Ahmed Oladimeji Kazeem, aka KC the Great. And remember, always trade well. Do not rush into the trade. Let's get the perfect entry and make money together. Remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research and trade with the money you can afford to lose. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell, so you always get notified when I come live every day. So until I catch you on another